tonight with some new legislation aimed at changing California's vaccination laws. Senator Ben Allen of Los Angeles and Senator Richard Pan of Sacramento, who's also a pediatrician, introduced the bill today. They want to get rid of the personal belief exemption, which would specifically apply to parents of school-age children who, for whatever reasons, can opt out of vaccinating their kids. In addition, the legislation requires parents to be notified of vaccination rates where their kids go to school.
We have rates in certain districts that are upwards of 15% of non-vaccination. This far exceeds the levels determined by the Centers for Disease Control necessary to protect public health, leaving so many of our children exposed to dangerous communicable diseases such as measles, whooping cough, and polio.
If the legislation is passed, California will join 27 other states that do not allow parents to opt out of vaccination requirements using the personal belief exemption. California granted more than 13,000 such exemptions last year. Some of those were here on the Central Coast. So why are some parents opting out? Action News reporter Phil Gomez is live tonight in Santa Cruz.
Well, Dan, this latest legislation fuels the debate over whether the government should require all parents to immunize their children or give parents the choice not to vaccinate them. Cindy Furman is the mother of two teenagers. She never vaccinated her kids, now 13 and 17, against the measles, and says it's a decision that should be left up to parents.
I definitely feel we should always have the choice about our children, for sure.
Why is that?
Because it's our children, and it's, you know, it's their bodies, and, you know, everybody should have their choice for their bodies. I don't think anybody should tell us what we should be doing with our bodies.
California is one of 19 states that allows exemptions based on parents' personal beliefs.
As long as the parents are educated on both sides of the fence and they make an educated choice, that's their decision.
Health officials believe this latest bill gives health professionals another opportunity to protect the safety of the community and, more importantly, the children.
We know that people need to think critically about the vaccine, but quite honestly, there is no downside to getting vaccinated. It's just a matter of educating parents and hoping to have them think about what they've seen and maybe experienced personally.
But if the new legislation passes, it would mean a parent could only get an exemption for medical reasons. That's something that only two other states do, Mississippi and West Virginia. Governor Brown would still have to sign the law, but his spokesman says the governor believes that vaccinations are a major public health benefit.
I just feel that people need to be able to make their own choices, especially with their bodies, their children.
We know that vaccines work. We know that vaccines are safer than actually not being vaccinated. When you look at the risk and benefits of vaccination versus not being vaccinated, the risks are greater.
The additional pressure comes amidst anti-vaccination movement by parents who believe measles vaccinations cause certain disorders like autism. Health officials say it's not true. The information comes from a study that has since been discredited. Dan?
All right, thank you very much, Phil. 92% of California's kindergartners are vaccinated. There is word tonight that the outbreak of measles continues to spread. 102 people from 14 states have it. Most of the cases are part of a large ongoing multi-state outbreak that has been linked to Disneyland. Disneyland, by the way, announced today the outbreak has not affected their bottom line.